Good afternoon. I want to go over some cutting guides for number 8 and number 9. I tried to do this before and I had difficulty with my video. So I taught you with a piece of white daisy cardstock. I wasn't ready to cut my glue yet. So in number 9, there is a square of pattern paper, and it's 9.5 inches wide. And in number 8, we use the outside of that pattern paper, and that outside of the pattern paper is 1.25 inch wide, even though only one, I think only 1 inch shows, but we'll see. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the pattern paper today. I've taken the zip strip off one. That's now a 12-inch paper. I'm going to talk about taking the zip strips off each of your papers again. And I'm going to show you how to cut this without wasting any paper. So we have to remember that the outside border is 1.25. So I'm actually preparing for number 8 the outside edge, which will be attached to a solid piece of paper. This one's prepared. I need 2 though, because the pages they match. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to turn my light on. I forgot to do that earlier. Let's see. There we go. Okay, we're going to take the zip strip off. The information and tagline and all that for Close to My Heart is, with all the colors in a pack, are on the back on a little piece of paper, but they always put a pretty design that we can salvage. And it's often included in our designs, and it's just 1/2 inch. Let's see. There we go. So we're going to cut that off. And we put that aside. We'll be using that later. But now I want to cut 1.25 inches all around. Now your whatever paper trimmer you have, there are measurements on the guide strip, and there are measurements along the top, sometimes along the bottom too. I want to go 1.25 inches. I'm going to use my side one. So there's 1 inch, and I'm going to go one large line after 1 inch and line it up straight. Straight is the key, especially for these smaller ones. Then I'm going to go down here to 1.25. I'll bring it a little close to myself, make sure I can see it. Let's see, 1.25. Now, the middles, there's always a mark on your actual blade. And for this one, it's right there, right on the little curve. So I'm just going to push in. Now I can see that my paper's not straight now that I did that. I moved it when I moved it close to me. Make sure it's on the line, the 1.25 line. You can always adapt it a little bit, but you don't want to adapt it much. Now this is 12 inches, so I want 1.25, so I'm going to go down to the 11.25 mark. There is a guide here to hold, but I actually hold a little on the plastic. I'm pushing down and going down to the point is at 1.25, and I stop, lift my blade, and rotate my paper 1/4 turn. Go back to the 1.25. This time I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start at 11.25, making sure this is on the line. Remember, we're only going to go up to 1.25, right about there. So I go right up until the point of my blade is at the 1.25 mark. And it looks like it came off. Good. Turn your paper again, 1.25 times. 1/4 time. Line it up on the line, which is one full straight line after the 1 inch mark. Start again at 1.25. Let's see. Here we go. And I'm going down here to 11.25. And last one, turn one more quarter page, one more direction, line it up at the 1.25 mark on the horizontal, and then on the vertical at 11.25. Hold it down firm, go up to 1 1/4. Now, we might have to use some scissor trim, but if we did it right, this will just fall out. And it's attached right there, and I just pull it. So here is our beautiful square for layout number 9, and our nice frame for layout number 8. Now someone, I think one of the girls in our class, Lutfin, said this has, if you look out the layout, number 9, it has some photos on here. You can actually even save some of this paper by very carefully cutting out the center and using some of this lined paper again. So I'm just going to whip through this one more time, lining up at 1 1/4, and on the bottom 11 1/4, 11 1/4, going up to 1 1/4, and then turning my page a 1/4 turn. Same measurements, it's 1 1/4 all the way. So 1 1/4, I'm starting my blade and going down here to 11 1/4. Straight. Okay. This cut seems awkward if you haven't cut out a middle of a paper before, but even if you weren't using the nice big reverse side for a layout number 9 and you wanted a border all around a scrapbook page, it's a good way to stretch your paper money because the paper is expensive, and if a lot of it's being covered up, there's no reason you can't use the center of the paper, especially when it's not really thick. And I see it's still attached here, so I might need, I'm just going to pull. Sometimes it's just so close. Scissors would probably be better. I think I was a little more cautious on this one, so I didn't go all the way through. So now you can see that this beautiful backside paper is all ready for number 9, and our frames are all ready for number 10. I'm not sure where we use the strip, I can't remember. But all right, have fun cutting, and I'll see you in class on Thursday.